How you doing, YouTube? This is xxKuriboltFTKxx. Y'all know who I am. I just wanted to do a video where I discussed a thing that I do before regionals. I call it, I really don't have a fancy name for it. I just call it test hands. Everybody does test hands. I know you all do them. We all do them. That don't make me no pro. I love Chris Bowling. He be making those videos where he explains stuff and people say, you know, that didn't really enlighten me on anything. I'm not trying to change the format or nothing, but I'm just saying that this is what I do for test hands. I basically, and I give them a grade like, you know, A, B, C, or D, F, and it really helps me try to make my deck more consistent. Like, I'm just kind of going on the whim on this video. Like, for example, and test hand number 1, I think is absolutely amazing. Just be like, I know a lot of people don't like Solemn Judgment by itself, but I love Solemn Judgment. The fact that I opened up the Temperance and the Stratos is really good. I don't like that I opened up the Justice, but just the fact that I have plays for days, in my opinion, in this hand, is what makes me like it the most. I would give that hand probably a B+. I can't give it an A because of the Justice and the second Wisdom, but the first 4 cards are amazing by themselves. If this was like a Veiler, and if this was a, I don't even know, maybe even a Spellbook of Secrets. So that way I can have 2 going on at the same time. That way I can shuffle the field spell for free. Then, you know, that would be absolutely phenomenal. So I give this hand like a B+. The next hand is absolutely not as good a hand because I didn't draw a monster. That makes me wonder because I run 2 of the Compulses, 2 Phoenix Chains, and 3 the Spellbook of Powers. That's one thing about cutting the Spellbook of Power. Dark Hole in the Spellcaster deck honestly doesn't even matter that much. So, like, maybe I want to drop a Dark Hole. I don't know. Like, these are the things that but I know Dark Hole's so good. Like, these are the things that I think about, you know, while I'm making my deck. A lot of people complain, oh, I open up so dead. Oh my hand, my opening hand just sucked. And that's honestly, I see it as an excuse. I know you can draw bad, like in Dark World or Gadgets or even Heroes if you open up all monsters. But I try my best not to make that excuse because when I open up dead, the only person that I blame is myself. I either didn't shuffle well or I made my deck so vulnerable to opening up dead that, like, you know, you have nutty Dark World hands, but then they open up dead and they wonder what happened. Like, their deck's too, like, I won't say the deck's too good, but the deck's so good, and we all know Dark Worlds are really sacky, to the point that, of course you can open up dead because your cards they're all, like, way too overpowered. You get what I'm saying? Like, so this hand is not a good hand. Honestly, if I open up with this hand, I would just end my turn and not tip off anything of what I'm running. I know a lot of people say, well, would you set at least 1 trap? Or would you at least place, like, you know, just set a trap? And honestly, I wouldn't even do that. I'd try to bluff the Gores. And, like, there's no deck that can OTK you this format except for Heretics and Windups. And nobody in Texas plays Heretics, thank God. And as far as Windups go, you have, you know, a couple people here who are still playing it, but I don't know, like, if I really got worried or if I knew they played windups, of course I'm going to set, I would just set the bottomless, honestly. Or I might even set the bottomless in the Phoenix Chain, which I highly doubt. But there's no way in the world that this is a good hand. I would just wait for a Spellcaster. I'd give this hand probably I want to say C-, but I guess I'll give it a C because of the traps. It's not completely terrible. I just need a monster. Any Spellcaster will set me off. I'll take a Veiler at this point. Alright, this hand right here is absolutely, it's definitely good. It's more defensive, but, you know, the fact that I opened up Temperance and the Book of Secrets is amazing. I wouldn't just open up with that play. This is a turn 1 set Apprentice. I'd do that no matter what. Like, I highly doubt I'd just do this for the field spell. I'd just go set Apprentice and end my turn and take it from there. Spellbook of Life is the deadest card in the hand. Obviously, I've said before how this card's not that great, and it's definitely not gonna be a good opening hand. That's kind of what you have to take with a grain of salt. I give this hand probably I give it a B+ too. If that, I'm gonna upgrade this hand to a A-. I give this hand a B+, just because of Spellbook of Life. Spellbook of Life ruined it, but everything else in this hand is amazing. You know, next I give this one because of the Heavy Storm. I have the Justice, but I don't have a Spellbook of Secrets to use it with, so that's why I'm really iffy about Justice. I mean, I have her, So that's good. I have the field spell play with the mirror force, but I want to do that with the heavy storm, so I have to really decide. I'd probably give this hand just a solid B. It could be better. I got the mirror force, and I got a couple other cards and a heavy storm, so I'm not going to complain. I can't complain about this hand. It's a B. This hand right here is definitely a B. It sucks that I drew see, like, this the stuff that you notice. Like, I drew the priestess, but everything else in this hand is absolutely amazing. Anytime you can open up a breaker and a power, that's always good. And a secrets, I would use secrets to get the lands, summon breaker and secrets, and then power, and then set Phoenix Chain, search for my field spell, and then proceed to win the game. You know, I might have I'd have a dead High Priestess in my hand, but it is the play that I would make. I can give this hand a B too. Like, I got a lot of B's. Usually when you can get A's and B's, you know your deck's good. But if you start coming up with B minuses and C's, that's when I start changing the cards. Because you'll notice the cards that are lowering your deck, like the Spellbook of Power, Dark Hole, Spellbook of Life, the One Priestess. Like, you can't help that. That's gonna happen sometimes in the deck. And the final hand I have here is with the Tower and a Veiler and a Spellbook of Secrets. This hand is probably, I'll give it an A, just because I drew the Tower and a Spellbook of Secrets with it. The only thing I would do is go Spellbook of Secrets for the Stratos, summon the Stratos, search a Spellbook of Secrets. I'd activate Tower, I'd set Compulse, and I'd just say go. I would be perfectly fine with that. I have one random MST right here, just to mess with your back rows, and hopefully I could draw, since I have the level 2, I could summon her next turn and continue on the engine, drawing 2 cards per turn. I have Veiler for protection and a Compulse, so I don't have to worry about anything bad happening. So yeah, I definitely give this hand an A. So this is an A, a B, A, B. I can't remember if I gave this, yeah, it's an A, a B, a B. Then I got a A minus, a C, and then I got and then I got a B. I think I remember giving this a B. It's not a B plus. So I use this to find out like how I feel about the starting hands. I didn't mean for the video to go on so long, but I'm not really planning videos. I'm just ripping them out and just spitting them out as I go. So I suggest like y'all do this with y'all's decks at home. Usually I like give it an average. I don't want to just put a number on it, but if you're like ripping good hands, I usually do this 2 to 3 times, and then I make my final decision on what I'm going to cut and what I'm going to cut it down to 40. This deck's at a pretty high number right now that I disclosed in the other video that I'm honestly embarrassed to say. It's not that high, but it's pretty high. And so I recommend y'all do this for y'all's regionals and your nationals and your, I don't know about worlds, but, you know, and your YCS. I highly recommend doing this. It definitely helps me out. This is xxKuriboh, 7727, signing out.